Historic flexi-work legislation passed, groundbreaking Disabilities Act approved, and minimum wage increased by 12%. Just some of the achievements from the Ministry of Labour and Social Security in 2014 as it created greater avenues to achieving government's strategic priorities of job creation and social inclusion. On September 23 and later October 31, the Houses of Parliament approved the long-awaited legislation to introduce flexible working arrangements in Jamaica.
Going forward, flexible work arrangements are critical to our national effort of achieving sustainable economic growth, improved levels of productivity, and national development.
Under the Employment Flexible Work Arrangements Miscellaneous Provisions Act, there will be no set 8 or 10-hour work days. The work week is to consist of 40 hours. All 7 days of the week are to be considered as possible normal working days, and overtime is earned after a worker has completed 40 hours. During the year, the ministry launched a public education campaign and organized several sensitization sessions on the law. Other measures were implemented in 2014 to enhance productivity and support government's strategic priority focus on job creation. A Labour Market Reform Commission was established.
This Labour Market Reform Commission, Mr. Speaker, will be tasked with conducting consultations with the relevant stakeholders relating to education and training, technology and innovation, labour policies and legislation, social protection, industrial relations and productivity.
In August, the ministry opened its renovated Electronic Labour Exchange (ELE) offices, which are now fully equipped with modern equipment to facilitate improved services. The ELE provides online and offline services to job seekers and employers. And through the Jamaica Productivity Center, the ministry introduced a secondary schools productivity improvement project to raise students' level of understanding of productivity. To protect the interests of the Jamaican workforce, the ministry increased the national minimum wage and the minimum wage for industrial security guards. And in June, the processing of work permits for foreign nationals was restructured to protect the Jamaican labor force from a saturation of skills that are already available locally. At the same time, steps were taken to help more Jamaicans secure overseas employment opportunities. The age limit for persons who can be recruited to the Overseas Farm Workers Program was increased from 40 to 45 years. Ground was broken at the ministry's employment center for the construction of a pavilion to shelter workers during recruitment and processing activities. And the Jamaica Liaison Service operating out of Canada donated 2 buses to transport workers in the Overseas Employment Program. Meeting the needs of the most vulnerable in society remained a priority for the government in 2014. A major achievement came with the passage of the National Disabilities Act.
It will pave the way for enhanced contribution to the society and economy of Jamaica by persons with disabilities, by ensuring that impediments to their full participation in society are completely removed.
Through the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities, the ministry embarked on island-wide consultations to gather information for the drafting of codes of practice and regulations for the new law. There were other interventions to support persons with disabilities. 9 consultant contracts totaling $61.3 million were signed to facilitate skills training and employment for 250 persons with disabilities on the Program of Advancement through Health and Education path. The ministry and Japan Development Grant provided $6.383 million to improve the operations of the Abilities Foundation. A new fully equipped $30 million facility with specialized equipment to enhance learning was handed over to the Stimulation Plus Early Childhood Development Center in Rockfort, East Kingston. And ground was broken for the construction of a $30 million intervention center in Orange Bay, Portland for the Early Stimulation Program. Support under the Program of Advancement through Health and Education path was also extended in 2014. It included the introduction of a 2-year $600 million Welfare to Work program for 2,000 path beneficiaries. And in partnership with Food for the Poor Jamaica, 1 family enrolled on path received a new home.
The government recognizes that poverty is a multi-dimensional social condition, and as such, for any intervention to meaningfully alleviate poverty, It must include the empowerment of families.
To ensure that all its programs for social inclusion reach a wider pool of Jamaicans, the ministry upgraded and reopened its Trelawney Parish office in Falmouth. In 2014, even as he guided the operations of the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, Derek Kelly was also called to first act and then formally assumed portfolio responsibility for the Ministry of Agriculture in the wake of Roger Clark's death. He now has oversight for the two ministries, which remain separate entities. It was a successful year for the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, which witnessed the passage of major pieces of legislation and the implementation of important programs, all to enable more citizens to secure employment opportunities and enjoy full social inclusion.